This meeting to order. Roll call, please.
Mayor Parton,
Here.
Vice Mayor Joyner,
Here.
Councilor Harris,
Here.
Councilor Ellis, Councilor Day,
Here.
Councilor Wheat,
Here.
Councilor Rapoli.
Here.
We have a quorum.
All right. Do I have a motion to go into closed meeting under Virginia Code Section 2.2-3711A3, 8, and 29 to discuss the acquisition or disposition of real property, where discussion in an open meeting would adversely affect the bargaining position or negotiating strategy of the public body, the award of the public contract, where discussion in open session would adversely affect the city's bargaining position, and to consult with legal counsel regarding specific legal matters, real estate contract discussions, 2.2-3711A7, consultation with legal counsel pertaining to actual or probable litigation, national opioid settlement, and 2.2-3711A1 to discuss personnel matters, Beacon Theater Board.
So moved. Second.
All right, motion's been made by Councilor Day and seconded by Councilor Rapoli. Is there any discussion? Seeing no lights, roll call, please.
Councilor Day,
Yes.
Councilor Wheat,
Yes.
Councilor Rapoli,
Yes.
Vice Mayor Joyner,
Yes.
Councilor Harris,
Yes.
Mayor Parton.
Yes.
Motion passes 6-0.
All right. Thank you. All right. Do I have a motion to come out of closed meeting?
So moved.
Second.
All right. Motion's been made by Vice Mayor Joyner and seconded by Councilor Wheat. Is there any discussion? Seeing no lights, roll call, please.
Councilor Day,
Yes.
Councilor Wheat,
Yes.
Councilor Rapoli,
Yes.
Vice Mayor Joyner,
Yes.
Councilor Harris,
Yes.
Mayor Parton.
Yes.
Motion passes 6-0.
Okay. Certification, please.
Certification under Virginia Code 2.2-3712D, where only public business matters, 1, lawfully exempted from open meeting requirements, and 2, identified in the closed meeting motion discussed in the closed meeting. Councilor Day,
Yes.
Councilor Wheat,
Yes.
Councilor Rapoli,
Yes.
Vice Mayor Joyner,
Yes.
Councilor Harris,
Yes.
Mayor Parton.
Yes.
Motion passes 6-0.
All right. Well, I want to thank all of our visitors coming out here tonight for tonight's City Council meeting. At this time, we will move into the report of the City Manager, Mr. Rogers.
Thank you, Mr. Mayor. We're going to start with the chief here. We're supposed to start with our crime report. The chief seems to be delayed. Instead, I mentioned last week the Hooray for Hopewell event that's coming up. I'm going to ask Kyle English to make the presentation on what that's all about, so the citizens are also aware of what's coming up with that.
Good evening, Mayor, Vice Mayor, members of council. I come before you this evening in presentation of the Department of Tourism's concept for our flagship event planned for summer of 2026. It is centered around the VA 250 concept. VA 250 is the state of Virginia's official initiative to commemorate the 250th anniversary of the American Revolution. VA 250 focuses on Virginia's central role in the founding of the United States, and the state of Virginia is encouraging communities to host events to educate the public about the contributions of their municipality to the forming of the United States of America, and of course to celebrate such occasion. The event that we are looking at scheduled for June 27th of 2026 is termed the Hooray for Hopewell History Celebration. So what is the Hooray for Hopewell History Celebration? It is a family fun event with Hopewell history themed. And we will have plenty of planned activities. And again, I apologize. The event will take place in downtown Hopewell as well as Appomattox Manor. And I'll get a little bit more into how both spots will play into the event. But the planned activities will center around, of course, family fun, such as the Kids Zone. We're calling it Kittyland. We will have the kayak pool that you may have seen at Rivers and Roads in September of 25. and we'll have plenty of inflatables that kids can enjoy as well as games. We will have history walking tours, which I'll get into shortly. A trolley tour that will go through downtown, through City Point and up to Appomattox Manor. And a lot of civic groups will be in attendance as well to promote their organizations. Vendors that will not really be competitive with our existing businesses. And Hopewell law enforcement and safety, public safety organizations such as HFD and HPD will be there to do touch a truck and hand out branded merchandise to citizens. The map for the Hooray for Hopewell History Celebration is in front of you. It was in your packet. We're planning to have minimal street closures in hopes of utilizing minimal resources in terms of public safety. We will be shutting down. The plan is to shut down half of Causton Street from the Beacon Theater down to the library, and then about half of Library Street as well. And the stars that you see on your map are kind of the walking tour points of interest where folks will be able to explore the history of Hopewell utilizing their phone to scan a QR code. And again, we'll go over that in a little more detail shortly. I also want to bring your attention to the bottom of the map where you'll see some names of some certain businesses downtown. Those are businesses that have agreed to be open during the event. And that's one thing we really want to strive. The reason we left Broadway open for this event, again, one, for minimal resource usage, as well as to promote our existing businesses that have storefronts here in the city and not disrupt their operations. The history sidewalk tour, again, I mentioned the stars on the map. This picture to the right that you'll see on the Hooray for Hopewell history page, essentially visitors will be able to use their phone to scan a QR code on these sandwich boards. And each sandwich board and each QR code will be a different kind of point of interest, if you will. And the points of interest for our history focus will be people in the city of Hopewell that made contributions to the founding of not only Virginia, Hopewell, but the United States, places where historic events took place in Hopewell, as well as products that are made and were previously made in the city. And again, with the Hopewell history kind of being the forefront of this event, we couldn't not incorporate Appomattox Manor. And in doing so, we are collaborating with the National Park Service. They have agreed to be a part of this event. So as folks take the trolley, again, I didn't mention our trolley tours, but a trolley will be running from Broadway down through City Point to Appomattox Manor, where folks will be able to get out of the trolley, explore Appomattox Manor, Grant's cabin, hop back on the trolley and go through downtown. And the NPS has procured the Chesterfield Concert Band to play from 7 to 8 p.m. As folks kind of head down towards the river for the Brecken Parks fireworks show for the evening. And that is the concept, very brief. Can I answer any questions about the Hooray for Hopewell 250 celebration?
Don't see any lights.
All right.
Thank you, Kyle.
Thank you, Mr. English.
Thank you all.
Thank you, Kyle. Chief, you're up.
Good evening, Mr. Mayor, Vice Mayor, members of City Council. I'm here to present the April Crime Summary Report for the Police Department. And starting on our crime summary for stats, for violent crime total, fortunately we're down minus 32%. For property crimes total, fortunately once again we're down minus 13%. So total major crime at this time period in April, we're minus 18% total crime. In the slide that we compare 2022, 23, 24, 25, the past 4 years, I really focus on 2022 when we started initiating technology. And comparing 2022 to where we at in 2026, we have a minus 29% decrease in violent crime. And as far as property crime, once again, if we compare 2022 to 2026, for its property crime, we're down minus 30%. So total major crime compared to 2022, when we initiated technology until now, we're down minus 30% decrease in crime. Suspected opioid overdoses, 2026. Unfortunately, we had 1 fatality, 3 non-fatal, and a total of 4 for 2026 thus far. Still the lowest in the past years. Verified shots fired, 2024 we had 64. 2025 is 54. Thus far in 2026, we've had a total of 6 calls for verified shots fired. Neighborhood watch meetings, just 2 changes. Ward 7, it used to be called Autumn Woods, is going back to being called Lord O. Taylor. And Ward 7, it's the 4th Wednesday at Woodlawn Presbyterian Church, and the start times is at 6 p.m. This is a new neighborhood watch group, and the neighborhood captain right now is Councilor Lavina Rapolo. Therefore, there's no other changes in our neighborhood watch. Hiring recruitment, application and testing was April the 25th, will be April the 25th at the Academy. We have 3 emergency communication operators. There are 3 vacancies, and we still have 2 applicants in the background stage. Currently, we have 5 police positions that are unfilled. 3 applicants remain in the background. And we have following recruit events: April the 17th at Virginia State University, May the 7th will be at the Valley event that's in Ashland, Virginia, and June 11th and August the 11th, we will be in Fort Lee for the transition program. Our community policing officer, the only update is, once again, we have a new Ward 7 neighborhood watch group, and our officer, Tiffany Sherrod, is the new award officer for Ward 7. Final page is community engagements. The police memorial breakfast is scheduled for May the 7th. We'll be at the Moose Lodge at 7 a.m. We had the little feet meet. That's a Special Olympics field day that was held at Hopewell High School on the 10th. April the 17th will be a question and answer at Virginia State University for criminal justice students. The times is from 1 p.m. to 5 p.m. And yearly drug take back will be April the 25th here at police headquarters, and the times is 10 a.m. to 2 p.m. That concludes my April crime summary report, and I'm here to answer any questions that you may have.
Okay. Are there any questions from council? Okay. Seeing no light. Chief, I just want to say thank you, for all the good work that you and your men and women have done. You've continued to show great reduction in the opioid fatalities and non-fatalities. Great work and partnerships with City of Refuge and others that have been really great. And it's also great to see that violent crime and property crime are also down too. And so thank you, Mr. Rogers, Stacy, the whole leadership team for everything that you've done.
Thank you so much.
Thank you.
And thank you for your support.
Mr. Mayor and Council, we'll have a presentation now by Dr. L.J. Merkel from the Crater Planning District. This is about, the title is An Initiative Focusing on Hopewell's Disproportionately High Burden of Fatal Opioid Doses. You have a copy of the presentation at your desk, and thank you for getting that to us, Dr. Merkel. You may proceed.
Good evening, everyone, particular Mayor, Vice Mayor. I wanted to say thank you to each council member for giving me a little bit of time today. My name is Elle Merkel. I'm from Crater Health District, and I'm here with my colleague, who is our epidemiologist senior, Katrina Safri. My role at Crater is overdose prevention programming, and we have done a good bit in Petersburg in the last year, but we need to pay attention to Hopewell, and I'm going to present some reasons why and some ways that we're going to work on that. So my agenda today is just to introduce ourselves and the purpose. There still remains, even though we had a very good report from the chief, there still remains a high fatal overdose rate in the big picture for the city of Hopewell. In particular, we identify that by the zip code. I want to frame that addiction as a treatable chronic brain disorder, and I have provided some materials in your packet that speak to the cost of addiction, both in lives and in the economic hits, different aspects of the economy. Most of what I'm going to talk about is the role of naloxone as a reversal or a rescue drug for opioid overdoses, and introduce the idea of a harm reduction bed machine that Crater Health District is going to be bringing to Hopewell. Okay, this is facts that you already know. I promise I won't present too much data today, but as you may know, Crater Health District is part of the Virginia Department of Health. Several districts are part of that, and we are the most important part of it. There are 160,000 people that live among the cities of Hopewell, Emporia, and Petersburg, and the counties of Greensville, Prince George, Dinwiddie, Surrey, and Sussex. At the Virginia Department of Health, as well as the Crater Health District, our mission is to help build resilient communities. We have, as you can see there, and you see in your packet, what our priorities are, key priorities. But if we look at Hopewell, Hopewell is 15% of that population of the 160,000. And as you know, the city of Hopewell has its own strategic plan and its own priorities, largely for advancing economic growth. And I think what we share as the health department and the city, improving the public safety and enriching or building an enriched environment for our families, healthy families. So we do have some shared priorities. Okay, this is a busy slide, and it will be the big slide that has to do with data. I don't want you to notice anything except the line itself. This is data that's presented by it was accrued by the Virginia Department of Health, and it is specifically about drug overdose deaths. It's not just opioid overdose, but drug overdose deaths. And you'll notice, everyone knows that the crisis with drugs started before 2007, but this data and this graph starts at 2007. And during the first few years, we see a pretty steady impact of fatal overdoses, and largely those overdoses were due to overprescriptions. And then if there's an overprescribing by the doctors, then there's the opportunity for misuse among the patients. And then you see a gradual rise at first as we got a handle on the prescriptions, but people turned to the street for their drugs because they were already addicted. And those drugs, street drugs, don't have the same kind of quality control, and so the contaminants and the element of maybe fentanyl or some other drugs that are part of that street drug increase the risk of fatalities to overdose. Then we see a little bit of a blip, which is largely heroin on the streets. And then you'll notice a very steep incline as we approach the 2019 and 20, and it peaks at 2021. That striking slope is because of fentanyl on the street. Fentanyl, as you may know, is a synthetic opioid. It's many times more powerful than heroin, and the bad news is that they're doing more and more refinements of fentanyl, and it's becoming more and more potent, which means that we're more and more likely to see overdose deaths. But the good news is, in addition to what the chief presented, there's a flattening of the curve that you can't help but notice. So after 2021, it looks like there's a different picture, a different landscape, if you will. And the dotted line in 2024 represents what we what we are projecting as the 2024 data. The health department doesn't have, it has checks and balances, and it doesn't have that 2024 data released quite yet. We're still making sure that we have the numbers right, and there is some delay in part from COVID and in part from federal funding. So keep that slope in mind, and remember that flattening of the curve. You can proceed, please. Okay, just so that we're all starting on the same page and we're all in the 21st century, I want to remind you that addiction is not a moral failing. Maybe someone made a bad choice about starting to take drugs. Maybe they made a bad choice about continuing to take drugs and misuse them. But once you're using the word addiction, you're talking about a treatable chronic disorder that affects primarily the brain. So it is not unlike diabetes, high blood pressure, maybe kidney disease, maybe schizophrenia. It is a chronic, treatable disease. Maybe not curable, but treatable. And if we start from that premise, I think it'll be a lot easier to get through the rest of the slides, knowing that opioid use is not a choice. Opioid disuse and the addiction to opioids is not a choice. Okay, so now we're looking at Hopewell data. Some of this data actually overlaps what the police chief was talking about in terms of the year 2022, I believe he started with. So if you think about what he was talking about and you look at the graph here, you'll see that we are capturing some of that decline toward the end. Remember the slope we saw earlier for the entire Commonwealth flattened out around 2021. And we see that. Now this graph has two lines on it. One line is Petersburg and one line is Hopewell. And this data is collected by zip code. So what you see as the purple is the zip code that's the primary zip code in Petersburg. And obviously that's where much of Petersburg problem is in that zip code. And the teal, the dark teal line, is the fatalities tallied for just the zip code of 23860, which you all recognize. Now, the writing on this slide is the punchline, because 30% of the overdose fatalities in the Crater District are in Hopewell, which is only 15% of the population. So that's why in public health we define that as a heavy burden, even though we do have some good news. All right, next slide. Okay, so this is my school teacher part. I just wanted to enlighten you as to what an overdose is. If you look at the slide or the picture on the left, that depicts a receptor in the brain, and the green, satellite-looking thing is depicting opioid, a chemical, maybe a molecule of the opioid. And when the molecule of the opioid gets into the bloodstream and gets to the brain, it nestles right into a receptor because they match. It's almost like puzzle pieces. So it settles there and provides a sense of euphoria to the person who's taken the drug. It may be a large part of why they take the drug. But unfortunately, that receptor also controls the breathing, so that if that receptor is occupied by opioid, it decreases the rate of breathing and the depth of the breath. So sadly, as crudely as it sounds, if someone dies of an opioid overdose, they have suffocated in their sleep. Now, naloxone to the rescue. That's what's in the right-hand side. On the right-hand diagram is, our friends, the receptor and the opioid molecules. You see them there. But what you'll notice is that the opioid molecules have been displaced from the receptor. The receptor has a greater affinity to the molecules of the naloxone drug than to the opioid. So the presence of naloxone around those receptors displaces the opioid. So the breathing can sort of progress toward more normal breathing. So that's the good news. The kicker is that it doesn't last that long. That effect will last somewhere between 30 to 90 minutes. So it's very important that someone that survives an overdose get medical treatment, because the opioid's still in their system and they need medical support until that opioid is passed through. Okay. So, breaking news. Probably around COVID, I think that public health vending machines became popular. on college campuses, for example, there would be a vending machine that students could go up to and put their code in, and they could get masks and gloves and hand sanitizer. So there's an entity that is known that's called a public health vending machine. Since the year, I want to say the year 2022 or 4, those vending machines have also sometimes included naloxone. So, in fact, now, as of 2026, more than half the states in the District of Columbia have public health vending machines that include naloxone. Okay, you can skip to the next slide, please. All right. What does a naloxone or a harm reduction vending machine from the Crater Health District look like? Well, it looks like the machine that's depicted on the right-hand side. It's called a locker vending machine, and it's not unlike a sandwich vending machine that you might find in a break room or in the staff cafeteria of a hospital. A code's put in, the door is released, and someone can take out what is in that particular locker. Now, what else is in the locker besides naloxone? Anything a donor wants to put in there that makes sense for harm reduction. It might be condoms. It might be a kit for people that are unhoused. One of my favorites is socks in the wintertime. It could be a do-it-yourself first aid kit, might be a feminine hygiene kit, but it will always include information, resources of how to get into recovery, how to get into treatment, and the benefits of treating this chronic brain disease. Okay, I would have to say that that's pretty much the conclusion of my talk in terms of information. There are 2 more slides, though, because if you'll go to the next slide. What I, El Merkel, would ask of you as individuals is that you support this program. I'm sure everyone wants to reduce overdoses in general, in particular fatal overdoses. We need some help, some assistance in securing a location, and we can talk about what the parameters are on that. Basically, we will soon be rolling it out once we work on that and we nail down that location and talk with the owner of that property in terms of the nuts and bolts of our strategy. So eventually we will be rolling it out, and we'd certainly like your support as individuals and community leaders. And then, because I'm a health educator, my big ask of you is that you each learn Revive and how to use naloxone and save a life. I think sanitation workers need to have naloxone and know how to save a life. And not for their family and friends, but for what they come across in the public. So I believe strongly in naloxone, and I very strongly believe that it's naloxone that has helped us with that curve. And then lastly, I'm assuming that the City Council wants to help prevent fatal overdoses, so this is what a municipality can do. Work diligently to reduce stigma. Stigma is a big barrier for people seeking treatment. They're embarrassed. Sometimes the doctors have stigma, but it is a huge barrier. And if we all recognize that addiction is not a moral failing, but addiction is a treatable chronic brain disorder, I think we're off to a better start. So that kind of education is what I mean by saying work to decrease stigma. Language is important. That's for another talk. We want to increase the capacity of treatment opportunities, different kinds of treatment centers. One size does not fit all. Someone's circumstance might not allow them to be in residence for 90 days in a treatment center. There are other options to do that, and the more options we have and the more capacity each one of those agencies has, the better chance we have of treating someone. If we can keep them alive, if we can treat them, keep them away from the drug, eventually their brain will resume that kind of thinking and decision-making that we would all hope for each other and our children. Peer recovery navigators are important. So again, those are programs that need to be identified, supported, and expanded. And first responders, of course, need education and resources, keyword resources there. Anybody have any questions for me based on the materials that you have or the things that I've said?
Do we have any questions? Councilor Harris.
Dr. Merkel, what is the time frame of implementation of such a vending machine?
Well, I'm glad you asked that question. It could be very short. I will say that I'll disclose that we virtually were gifted these vending machines. My colleague, Ms. Safri, she espied them and she negotiated that Crater would own them. They are not in the Crater district yet. So one thing that has to happen logistically is we have to bring them here. One will go to Petersburg and one will go to Hopewell. And our procurement officer has let me know that they will hire one truck with a lift for one trip to Staunton to bring those two machines here to Crater. So currently, that's the holdup, is we don't know where they'll be located. We don't know, in particular, where the Hopewell one will be located. If we can find that out, we can hit the ground running. Because then the next thing that would happen would be a discussion with the property owner in terms of what is our role, what is that person's role. We would look around for community shareholders and community partners that would help us keep it sustained, because it doesn't cost that much to sustain it. And as you'll see from the materials that I've included in your pamphlet, there is a great cost to not having naloxone. But if we can have low barrier naloxone, which is no cost to the public, I mean, Department of Health and the state of Virginia will figure out a way to put naloxone in there. The other things that go in there can be what the community decides they need. You know, in the wintertime, it might be socks. It might not be socks in the summertime. It might be a snack, a protein bar. It could be, as I said before, different literature resources for people that are in need of some guidance and some navigation to resources. So those kinds of decisions can be made very quickly once we have the stakeholders at the table. I would have to say that Katrina and I are available anytime. We'd love to talk about it. But some of those logistics can only be resolved once we have a location.
Dr. Merkel,
Yes.
what are you asking of the city?
Well, quite seriously, those last two slides are all that I'm asking of the city. The slide before this is I'm asking you as individuals to trust that the Department of Health has the best interests of the city of Hopewell citizens in mind, and that we have the resources and the tools to help fight the overdose epidemic here. So that's a trust, and that's L and y'all. Then the next slide, that last slide, is really not a commitment to me. It's really just an opportunity for you as a body and the municipality as a region to take seriously and figure out what we can do. I mean, as a mother and as someone who has seen children fall to overdose and addiction and overdose, it is a terrible, helpless feeling. But if I can tell you what things you can do as a group, as a body, and as individuals, I think that we're all ready to take a step forward.
Okay. Yeah, what I would recommend is, meet with our city manager. And we have a new permanent one that's coming in, and I think it'd be great if you got to meet him. His name is Vincent Jones, because I think that the vending machine idea is a very good, innovative idea, and I think something like that I think would go a long way into helping our community. And I don't know the particulars about if some of that opioid settlement money that's going out to some of the localities, Mr. Rogers and Mr. Bissett, maybe that might be able to help out and do some of this. But I'd recommend you guys getting together,
Sure.
And then in about a month, when Mr. Jones gets here as the new permanent city manager, it'd be good for you to meet with him as well.
That sounds great. And of course, we're always happy to come and update the body as to where we are and how we're doing what we're doing. I would also invite the opportunity or request the opportunity to come sometime during one of your sessions, one of your small group meetings perhaps, and teach Rapid Revive. And every participant in the Rapid Revive receives a 2-dose kit of naloxone. And I would feel better putting my head on the pillow at night knowing that there was more naloxone in Hopewell. All right. Thank you all very, very much.
Mayor and Council, one last thing. On
Okay.
Thursday night at 6 o'clock, 6 o'clock, at the community center, we're having a citizen budget forum.
Okay.
Citizens have come forward and, talked about the budget, and I think they want to understand the budget, so it's an opportunity for dialogue. We'll have presentation by a couple of our major departments, and we'll be there to ask questions, to answer questions from the citizens. So we encourage people to come out to that event at the community center.
Okay. Can you guys get a press release put out for that as well?
It's out.
Okay, perfect, thank you.
That's it.
That's it, all right. Moving on to actions resulting from closed session. At this time, do I have a motion to appoint Mr. Donald Barber, Mr. Bruce Brockwell, Mr. Elliot Alades, Dr. Eliza Lamb, Mr. Avon Miles, Ms. Courtney Buchikowski, Dr. Gary Ackerman, Mr. John Redling, Ms. Nancy Flowers, and Ms. Barbara Patton to the Beacon Theater Board?
So move.
All right, motion's been made by Vice Mayor Joyner and seconded by Councilor Day. Is there any discussion? Seeing no lights, roll call, please.
Counselor Day?
Yes.
Counselor Wheat?
Yes.
Counselor Rapoli?
Yes.
Vice Mayor Joyner?
Yes.
Counselor Harris?
Yes.
Mayor Parton?
Yes.
Motion passes 6-0.
All right. At this time, is there a motion to direct the city attorney to enter a combined subdivision and participation and release form as presented tonight?
So moved.
Second.
All right. Motion's been made by Councilor Wheat and seconded by Councilor Day. Is there any discussion? Seeing no lights, roll call, please.
Counselor Day?
Yes.
Counselor Wheat?
Yes.
Counselor Rapoli?
Yes.
Vice Mayor Joyner?
Yes.
Counselor Harris?
Yes.
Mayor Parton?
Yes.
Motion passes 6-0.
All right. This time, can we have the prayer by Reverend Boggs, and I will lead in the Pledge of Allegiance afterwards. Please rise.
Thank you, Mayor, Vice Mayor, council members, friends of this great city. I invite you to join with me as we pray together, please. Almighty God and creator of all and provider of all good and perfect gifts, we pause in your presence to recognize you this evening and to thank you for your goodness, for your kindness, mercy, and grace. Grant to us, we would pray, wisdom in pursuing avenues of service that honor you, and we pray for clarity to communicate effectively. We pray for patience to face obstacles with which we struggle, and strength to face those obstacles, the grace to be forgiving, the humility to acknowledge our weaknesses. We pray that you would find honor in this gathering and shower your blessings upon the leadership which carries the burden of the decision-making on behalf of this great city. And it's in this prayer, Lord, that we ask as we present ourselves before you in the name of Christ. Amen.
Allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
All right. Is there a motion to adopt the consent agenda?
So move. Second.
All right. Motion's been made by Vice Mayor Joyner and seconded by Councilor Day. Any discussion? Seeing no lights, roll call, please.
Counselor Day?
Yes.
Counselor Wheat?
Yes.
Counselor Rapoli?
Yes.
Vice Mayor Joyner?
Yes.
Counselor Harris?
Yes.
Mayor Parton?
Yes.
Motion passes 6-0.
Okay. Moving on to communications from citizens. Madam Clerk, will you please read the statement?
A communication from citizens period limited to a total of 30 minutes occurs at each regular council meeting. Persons addressing council approach the microphone, give their name, and if they reside in Hopewell, their ward number. Each comment is limited to 3 minutes. No person is permitted to speak on an item scheduled for public hearing. All remarks must be addressed to the council as a body. Any person who makes a personal, impersonate, abusive, or slanderous statement or incites disorderly conduct in council chambers may be barred from future communications from citizens and removed.
Okay. First First person I have signed up for tonight is Steve Romano.
Mayor, Vice Mayor, Council, my name is Steve Romano. I'm at 206 Circle Drive, Hopewell, Virginia, Ward 3. I'm here tonight to talk about getting old and living on Social Security. It is my understanding, as of today, the city of Hopewell, with Capron portfolio, has $6.2 million in it. LGIP has $9,092,000 in it. Schwab has $6 million some odd dollars. My wife and I have been retired 12 and 14 years respectively. When we were both working, we had a lot of money. Bill came in, you paid it. No big deal. 2 cars, gas, food, going out to eat, it's fun. But we're not there anymore. We're retired. When my second car died, I didn't buy another one. One is having to do. That one car takes us to the doctor, Walmart, Food Lion. It's not a luxury, it's a necessity. But it's 10 years old, and I'm still paying personal property taxes on it. I find that ridiculous at our age. The car's worth $5. I wish someone else would pay my personal property on it. My house, 25 years. When we moved in, and I told people in New York what our personal property tax was, they wanted to kill me. They couldn't believe it. But they won't do that now. That's an expensive bill. And I can't see, with all the money that you do have, and all the money you're going to talk about spending tonight, why you can't give seniors a break on their personal property taxes. I just find it crazy. You want to help citizens, you want to do all your projects, do the river walk, build a house, whatever it happens to be. This is my pet project. I can't afford it. I don't make more money. Whatever money we have is it. I can't get a job. I can't go to work for money because I'm not going to do that. So if I've got to live on a budget, I wish the city of Hopewell would live on a budget and at least try to help some seniors out. I'm not the only guy, and if somebody says to you, we would like to help you, and they say, I don't need it, God bless them. I want it. Thank you.
All right, next is Mr. Mark Burrows.
Mark Burrows, Ward 3. Y'all know that. A couple of months ago, 4 or 5 months ago, actually, I got up here and asked you, actually, it wasn't that long ago. I got up here and asked y'all to be aware of what all happens at the state level as bills are passed through and rejected and so forth and so on, and what that means for us here in Hopewell. Immediately after that meeting, a couple of people came up to me and pointed out to me that a few years ago, before I moved here, Hopewell City had adopted a Second Amendment resolution to become a Second Amendment sanctuary city, to my understanding. Again, I wasn't here at the time. The reason I'm standing here tonight is because a lot of these things that are going on at the state level have the potential to affect us here in this city. If, in fact, Hopewell adopted a two-way sanctuary city mentality some years ago, I feel as though y'all have forgotten that, based off the fact that many of you were prepared to vote yes to ban weapons in our city parks and throughout other city properties as early as late fall last year. So I stand here tonight to briefly ask y'all to remember what y'all have done in the past as we look to the future as a city, but also as a state, and what y'all owe us when you go to talk to state representation, and what you have committed to in the past and what you have committed our city to. The other reason I stand here tonight is something needs to be done, and I know that there's been some work done on the tax on vehicles. A friend of mine, his taxes were paid multiple years. He did fall behind. but he just recently got caught up. He's paid them now 3 weeks ago, and the DMV has still not released his vehicle because the treasurer's office can't seem to pull their head from their fourth point of contact and notify the DMV that his vehicle needs to be released so that he can renew his registration and get back and forth to work. The TACS, T-A-C-S, people collection agency, I guess they're called, fail at maintaining records, sharing records, and the amount that they charge and are charging my friend is obscene. And given the city's income level, I'd strongly encourage y'all to push the treasurer's office, commissioner, whoever, to find another collection agency because that one is horrible. Thank you.
Thank you, Mr. Burrows. Mr. Burrows, will you please ask your friend to reach out to the city manager's office so that way we can at least have a name so when we go to talk to the treasurer, we can see if that issue can get resolved?
Yes, sir. Thank you.
All right, thank you. Next is, I think it's Victor Lavin O'Deer.
Nice try. Hi, my name is Victor Lavin-O'Deer.
Okay, close.
I'm a Hopewell resident, been here for about 25 years now. First time here at a meeting, and I just wanted to see what was going on. I wanted to introduce myself. Would anybody mind if I took a picture with your name so I can know a face to a name?
It's on our city website.
Huh?
It's on our city website.
Is it?
Yeah, if you go on hopewellva.gov and you
Yeah.
just go to city council,
Okay.
you'll see all of our names and then you'll see pictures and which wards we represent.
Which ward does he live in?
He lives in my ward.
Okay.
How do you know? Oh, okay. All right, I just wanted to introduce myself again, know who y'all were. Not really pleased with the way things are going with the city. Not that you're doing wrong, it's just that you're not doing right. Like Steve said, Romano said, I'm also retired and been retired since 2019. And I find it very difficult, to get by. It's not, it's no joke. It really isn't. I'd like to stay in Hopewell, I really would. And I hope that maybe we can come to some kind of agreement on what y'all spending and how you're spending it. And that, to me, that's my biggest concern, is how y'all are spending our money. I find, I don't know, I'm just appalled at how you can sit there and I didn't get, I'm sorry, Mr. Rogers, when was that meeting that you said you were going to have with the
Thursday night.
this Thursday night?
This Thursday.
Okay, thank you very much. All right, that's all I have. Thank you.
All right, thank you. Okay, next is Miss Laura Greenwood.
Hi, ladies and gentlemen. Laura Greenwood from Ward 6. I got a real quick one for you. It's brought to my attention by 3 locals in my area that the high school is not running the United States flag or the state flag. And I said, what? So I rode over there, and it's not running. I know there's a ROTC there, so the ROTC could actually run the flags up and take it down in the evening before they go home. Is that something we can look into doing? I mean, they're getting city, state, and federal funded, which is all taxpayers' money. So we can at least be, high schools can run the flags. All right? Thank you.
Thank you. Mr. Rogers, will you reach out to Dr. Hackney about that for us and then just give us an update? Thank you. Okay. All right. A-Team Automotive.
My apologies, Mr. Mayor. We didn't have any comments. We were just here for the conditional use voting.
Oh, okay. All right. No worries. Miss Debbie Randolph.
My name is Deb Randolph. I'm from Ward 1, and probably from the last 30 to 60 days, I've been hearing some things about the Beacon Theater going on. tad bit through this resource here at City Council and looked for more information, including the talent banks, etc. I'm glad I was here for the appointment of the people that you all have put on the board, but I have to question how you all went about that. Certainly, I didn't see a large presentation or advertisement for people to be on that board. I certainly know that the people from the resources that I utilized over the last 30 days to ask who knew about it, not a lot of people did. Not a lot of the general public did. And certainly was questioning how the people that you appointed tonight or are going to appoint in the future got onto the board. There's nothing on the Talent Bank resource page about a Beacon board. There was nothing about whether you needed to fill a talent bank out. Most people that came and talked told me they had to bring resumes. So as a council, isn't it the normal process to make it open and transparent process to pick and choose people for a board? I don't mind who you pick, you do that anyway. But quite frankly, I'm questioning how this even went about, unless you already had people that you had in mind and went directly to them. Which again, I'm not quite clear if that's the open and transparent government that we want. So I'm asking this question so that maybe you all can tell the citizens a little bit more about your plan for the Beacon. I certainly have heard that it's going to be a potential for a nonprofit. I've been involved with people who initially started it. I know how convoluted the Beacon initiation and how they had to do things for tax credit purposes to get the money they needed was, and still is. And I'm sure that our current city attorney, working with Stefan and VML attorneys, has worked through that process for you all. Hopingly, that, again, that you all would use a fair and open process to inform the citizens what's going on, what the plan will be, whether it's the best plan for the city and the Beacon, and all the people that would be working on that board. Okay? That's all I have. Thank you very much for listening.
And next is Ms. Darlene Thompson.
Darlene Thompson, Ward 6. About 3 years ago, I guess now, the Robert Bob Group came in August. And in January, they brought Mr. Branson in, making $13,000 a month. And within a month, he came before City Council and said that this city was broke and that this city was going to be in a financial ruin within a certain amount of time. In 2024, this City Council, starting around May, increased our tax rates, increased our real estate assessment, done the trash collection, across the board. I don't even have time to go through all what you all voted on. This city council that we gave a seat there on our behalf. And it didn't stop. Just recently, they came before us after they went down to Williamsburg and spent $17,000 for one day, not even a good 24 hours, where they was trying to, the Robert Bob Group apparently was trying to get the wastewater treatment plant, and came to us and said, you all got to pay $5.25. If you do $5.25 times 10,434 residents here in Hopewell, that's around $54,000 a month. In a year, this city will be getting $657,000. You all did not stop. And now it's time for 4 of you all to go up for re-election, and you want our signatures to put you all back on the ballot when you all have not worked on our behalf. Stacy gets up here every week with these showing what our actual budget and all is. $8.4 million higher for 26 than it was for 25. $8.4 million. That's our tax dollars. That's what they taxed us on top of what they were already getting from us. Okay? The next one, 4.63% with a total of 1.6. That one was lower. Every page here, it showed where this city is getting more money. Never talking about the surplus that you all are getting from these citizens. On our backs, y'all forced us to pay what you all set for us to pay.
Right.
And now you all want our vote.
Thank you very much.
I thought so. Would y'all start putting that timer back up there so I can keep up with it, please?
Please have a seat, Ms. Thompson. Your time is up. All right. Next is Mr. C.J. Glover. Can you speak up? I'm sorry, I cannot hear you. Oh, okay. So, are you CJ?
Yes.
Okay, I apologize.
I am CJ Glover Arndt, and I am here, and I'm a student at Carter G. Woodson Middle School, and I'm Ward 1, and I want Carter G. Woodson Middle School, and Woodlawn Learning Center to have renovations or replacements, so that way they can all be safe. So that way people can actually go into school and feel safe and actually be safe at the same time. Because even though that you guys have replaced the library and other areas at the front, there's still other areas that you guys need to fix. Like, for example, the bathroom, there's not enough bathrooms. There's bathrooms with broken fixtures. There's entire hallways without sprinkler systems. And not only that, but in the classrooms, there are some classrooms that have like windowless places, which I know is probably not up to fire code, meaning if there's a fire, you're not escaping, which is a big hazard. So I want, and not only that, but in the Woodlawn Learning Center, it's even worse. Trust me on this. And I want people who go into school feeling safe, whether their parents have died or not, to actually be safe. People to actually have sprinkler systems in their school. People to have enough bathrooms to not have to share bathrooms with another 7th grade need pod or so. And yeah, I want people to be safe, including my mom and all the other staff who work there. Because if you were a student there and there's a fire, would you want to grow up and be an architect and try to fix the code? Or would you want to just completely neglect the school so that way they have a strong potential for tragedy? What would you guys choose? So, again, I want to have the money be used for renovations and or forms of replacements for Woodlawn Learning Center and Carter G. Woodson Middle School because of broken fixtures and bathrooms, not being enough of said bathrooms, along with classrooms with no forms of windows for people to escape during fires, and entire hallways without sprinklers, along with many other big problems, like open ceiling tiles, nails that are completely open, tar leaking, and stuff like that. Thank you for allowing me to speak, you guys. Thank you.
And CJ, the phone number that you have on here. CJ, the phone number that you have on here that you signed up, is that your number, the parent? Okay.
Parents.
All right. Okay. Well, that's good. That's good. More time for studies. And just less distractions. I'm going to give this phone number to your city councilor, Vice Mayor Joyner, and then that way she can reach out and talk to you. All right?
Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Okay. All right. From communications from citizens, we had some concerns. The first one we're going to address Ms. Randolph's concerns about transparency. Mr. Bissett, would you like to comment on the process and how many presentations we've done and the outreach that we've done? On the beacon, yes, sir.
Sure. In January, I gave a presentation at the first January, the second January meeting. I think the first January meeting might have been canceled for weather. On what the process was going to be, that there were going to be appointments made tonight. I believe the next meeting, in early February meeting, there was a presentation by Kevin Foster at the John Randolph Foundation about community engagement, what's going to happen there, and we talked again there about the appointments tonight. And then, of course, it's been on the agenda for a couple of meetings now that there have been interviews, and like any other board or commission, although this is a private institution, any other board or commission that is named by city council, anyone is always welcome to reach out to the clerk's office to put their proverbial hat into the ring on an appointment by city council.
Okay. All right. Thank you. And Ms. Randolph, I encourage you, if you would like to, put an application in yourself. You can you can go through the same process just like everybody else. No special treatment. All right. So then we had some comments from Ms. Thompson and Ms. Jordan. If the City Council hadn't adopted the new policies and procedures, would we still be receiving those same material weaknesses on our audit?
Yes, we would. The financial policies were not adopted. We probably would be receiving the same audit findings that they have been in previous years. Remember, the city received the actual disclaimer in 2019 in their financial audit. That has since been changed to unmodified opinion, which is a clean audit, which is what you want moving forward. 25 will be uploaded to the Federal Clearinghouse tomorrow. It will be presented before the Community Council on the 28th. In regards to the comment about the trend analysis that you're speaking about, Ms. Thompson, it's not a surplus. What is it that's showing in year over year what the revenues look like at this period of time versus what it does right now. So it's not a surplus of funds. We're just showing you that the city is trending in a positive direction for the upcoming fiscal year. So as our revenues come in, for instance, you said 1.4 billion trending higher this year over last year, which means we collected more revenue. The majority of that stems from additional collections within the treasurer's office and other grants or something funding. As far as the expenses, we try to keep them level and maintain. We should not exceed our budget in regards to the expenses.
Okay. Thank you. And then I have another question that I'd like to ask for your clarification, Ms. Jordan. Had City Council, from the comments that I gathered, it seemed as if Ms. Thompson was perfectly fine with status quo as it was back then. Had City Council not addressed the mismanagement and poor leadership, financial leadership, over the past 10 years, would City Council have continued its path towards insolvency or bankruptcy?
Absolutely. I'm not sure or aware if the community or council was aware prior to my arrival back in, I want to say it was 2024 or 2023. The city actually had a negative account balance in their city master account, which is not, that means it couldn't be payroll, that means that you couldn't be account payable. Nobody was actually monitoring cash flow and monitoring the city's finances at that time. That is a bad situation to be in overall for any locality.
No, ma'am. Your time is up. We're addressing the comments that you made. So, thank you, Ms. Jordan and Mr. Bissett, for clearing up more mis and disinformation from individuals. Moving on to our regular business. Our first R item is going to be a public hearing for the conditional use permit of 1001 Perrymont Road and 225 South 15th Avenue.
Good evening, Mayor, Vice Mayor, members of council. I have two conditional use permit requests for you this evening. The first one relates to 1001 Perrymont Road, parcel 2540010. Again, both of these are first readings. For this particular CUP, the applicant is Mr. Charles Bennett of Joy Fellowship Church. This property is located in Ward 4 and zoned R2. The request is to allow a 6-foot fence in a front yard in the R2 district. Front yard fences are limited to 4 feet in our zoning ordinance. So we've got a general location map on the left and then a close-in aerial view on the right. In the close-in aerial view, you'll see a red line. That's the location of this new fence. So it's not going to encircle the entire property, but just that eastern portion. The applicant's position here is that there's some athletic fields up at the front and that a taller fence, taller than 4 feet, will provide better containment of the athletic field, improve safety for children utilizing those fields, and improved overall property security. These are some images supplied by the applicant as to the proposed fencing. And again, a tighter view of the location of this new fence. Staff does concur with the applicant's position that a 6-foot fence in the front yard will enhance safety and security. We have not received any public comment that was solicited through the advertisements, but we did have 2 persons speak at the public hearing of the Planning Commission. One was against a 6-foot fence in the front yard, and the second just had concerns about a ditch line. So staff does recommend approval with the following conditions: that the new fencing and entryway will be in substantial conformance with the fencing and entryway examples as presented to you this evening. Planning Commission also recommends approval at their public hearing with a 5-0 vote with staff's recommended conditions. The applicant is here this evening if you have any questions. Otherwise, I'll move on to the second one.
Okay. Does anyone have any questions on this public hearing? Seeing no lights? Okay.
Second conditional use permit request this evening relates to 225 South 15th Avenue, also identified as parcel 0241000. Again, first reading. The applicants are Mr. Eugene Brown, Delonte Patton, and Linwood Jefferson. This particular property is located in Ward 1 and zoned B2 Limited Commercial District. The request this evening is to, to operate an auto repair shop. You may remember that CUP requirement was added in June of last year for auto-related uses. The map here on general location, and on the right-hand side is the close-in version. You may be familiar with this building. The sections in the middle and then at the north are utilized for the McDonald's employee manager training facility. So with any auto-related use, there are some potential impacts that staff is going to look at, and those include parking, outside storage or display of product, noise pollution, air pollution, waste disposal and environmental concerns, potential safety risks, and any other aesthetic concerns can lead to a decrease in property values. The applicant proposes to only use 2 of the 6 bays that are actually at this property, and it'll be the 2 front bays. They will not work on vehicles outside, and nor will they store inoperable vehicles. The business will operate on an appointment-only basis, so no walk-ins or drop-offs. And of course, they will properly handle, store, and dispose of hazardous liquids and materials. So here's a street view image of the property in question. Again, it would just be use of the 2 bays up front. It does have a fenced parking lot that is secure and will be secured in the evenings. Again, it does have secured off-street parking. The building does allow for indoor storage of all materials and equipment. And of course, the applicant proposes to store, manage, and dispose of hazardous materials in accordance with regulations. We have not received any public comment on this application. Staff does recommend approval with the following conditions. Number 1, the exterior of the property to be kept clear at all times with no outside storage of materials, parts, or equipment. Number 2, outdoor display of items for sale is prohibited. Number 3, all vehicles associated with the business will be parked in the off-street parking lot. Number 4, all auto repair work must occur indoors. Number 5, inoperable vehicles and abandoned vehicles must be removed or stored indoors after 30 days. The storage, handling, and disposal of hazardous materials will comply with all regulations. And then the general condition that the use and premise will comply with all local, state, and federal laws. These are the same proposed conditions with the previous auto-related CEP we had. I think it was a month ago, 6 weeks ago. Planning Commission voted 5-0 to approve this request with staff's recommended conditions. The applicants are here this evening, so if you have questions for them, they're available. I'm also available. And that's it for the CEPs tonight.
Okay, great. Any questions for this one? All right, seeing no lights. Okay. I'm going to go ahead and open up the public hearing. The only person that we have signed up for this public hearing is Mr. Mark Burrows.
Mark Burrows, Ward 3. I don't know the gentleman that want to open up the shop, but what I do know is that we sit up here and we talk all the time about how we need to bring more businesses, more revenue to the city, but then y'all make it incredibly difficult to do so and go through this process, so forth and so on. Seems kind of oxymoronic to me. So if we could just get rid of this headache and rigmarole, we may see more small business growth here within the city of Hopewell. Thank you.
Okay. All right. We can go ahead and close the public hearing. All right. At this time, is there a motion to approve the conditional use permits for 1001 Perrymont Road and 225 South 15th Avenue as presented tonight?
So moved.
Okay. Councilor Wheat for the motion and Councilor Harris for the second. Any discussion? Seeing none. Roll call, please.
Counselor Day?
Yes.
Counselor Wheat?
Yes.
Counselor Rapoli?
Yes.
Vice Mayor Joyner?
Yes.
Counselor Harris?
Yes.
Mayor Parton?
Yes.
Motion passes 6-0.
Okay. R2.
Mr. Mayor, I'm assuming that both of those approvals are with staff's recommended conditions.
Yes. Yeah.
Yes.
Thank you. All right. We also have a modification to development standards application this evening. Again, this is first reading, public hearing. Relates to 915 Riverside Avenue, which is parcel 0660888. As you can see the map here of the property, the general location map, and then on the right is a close-in aerial. This is Virginia American Water's intake pump station. It's located just east of the Route 10 bridge. They, of course, are the applicant for this modification to development standards. And they essentially are requesting to have barbed wire security, barbed wire fencing on the top of their regular security fencing. The district that this pump station is located in does not currently allow that, but it does have a provision for modification to the standards to allow it. So the applicant is proposing essentially 3 strands of barbed wire for added security on the perimeter security fencing for the city's water intake pump station. So the way that modifications to development standards work is that it should not be granted if any of the following conditions are met. And number 1, the granting of the modification will constitute the granting of a variance, a special exception, a conditional use, or a rezoning. Staff does not believe that it does that. Number 2, ordinary financial considerations are the principal reason for the requested modification. Staff does not believe that that is the reason for this request. The reason is for added security. Number 3, the modification amends a property-specific condition imposed by City Council or the BZA unless such conditions specifically grant such modifications to the City Council. It does not amend a property-specific condition. And number 4, the applicant created the condition or situation generating the need for the modification. Staff does not believe that the applicant has created this condition. So staff recommends approval of the modification to develop the standards to request barbed wire along the top perimeter of the security fencing with the following condition: that the fencing will comply with the same standards that are set forth in Article 18, Section A7B3 of the zoning ordinance that applies to fencing in industrial districts. And in those districts, the fencing may be up to 10 feet high and does not exceed 3 strands on top within that 10-foot height limit. Planning Commission voted 5-0 to recommend approval of this request with staff's recommended condition. We have not received any public comment on this application, and a representative from the applicant is here. If you have any questions, I'm also available.
All right. Are there any questions? Seeing no lights. All right. Go ahead and open up the public hearing. Only person I've signed up tonight is Mr. Mark Burrows.
I'm good on this one.
Okay. Go ahead and close the public hearing. At this time, is there a motion to approve the modification to development standards at 915 Riverside Avenue as presented tonight?
So move.
Second.
All right. Motion's been made by Vice Mayor Joyner and seconded by Councilor Wheat. Is there any discussion? Seeing no lights, roll call, please.
Counselor Day?
Yes.
Counselor Wheat?
Yes.
Counselor Rapoli?
Yes.
Vice Mayor Joyner?
Yes.
Counselor Harris?
Yes.
Mayor Parton?
Yes.
Motion passes 6-0.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Ms. Jordan?
Good evening, Mayor, Vice Mayor, members of council. I'm going to introduce Mr. Chris and Davenport Jimmy to talk about the ordinance authorizing the issuance of GO bonds for the school system.
Good evening, Mayor, members of council. Jimmy Sanderson with Davenport, financial advisor to the city. I wanted to just come back and give you a little bit of a report on where we stand with things. Again, Stacy said that the audit's going to be ready tomorrow, which is great. Our goal then is to take that and then be able to talk to some investors who are waiting for that in particular. I would like to be able to come back to you at your May 28th meeting with the results of that. I don't want to rush it though, so I think more to come on that. But our goal is at least come back with you with the actual results of investors, where the interest rates are, the terms and conditions of the loan as well. Mr. Culp, who is bond counsel to the city, can talk through the process with respect to the ordinance, a first reading now, a second reading on the 28th, but then also the adoption of the resolution at that time. But happy to answer any questions generally that you have.
Mr. Mayor, members of council, Chris Culp from Hunting Acres, Girth and Richmond. Appreciate the opportunity to be before you again tonight. And our role, as Jimmy said, is bond counsel. We are a specialized legalized counsel working in concert with the city attorney and finance department and the financial advisor to put together a financing that meets the state law requirements and federal tax requirements, because we would be asked at the end of the financing to provide an opinion to the holder of the bond, the lender, that the interest on the bond is tax exempt for federal income tax purposes and that it has met all the state law requirements. So as a part of the state law requirements, the city, before issuing debt, is required to hold a public hearing and then consider the adoption of that ordinance. The ordinance is on a first reading tonight, and it's a short form authorization for the issuance of up to $15 million to finance school improvements, mostly HVAC related. And so that is for consideration. And then subsequent to the adoption of the ordinance, and I think was included in the agenda package, is a bond resolution for context to provide more detail about the specifics of the bond issue and allows the council to approve the parameters of the financing, the maximum principal amount, a maximum interest rate, and a maximum term, and that so long as the financing fits within those parameters, then the delegation to city staff and to the mayor to execute on that financing would be authorized, and no further action by council would be required. The financing is set up in a manner similar to what the council approved back in the fall as a general obligation financing, but for these school purposes. So that's a brief overview, but I'm happy to answer questions that council may have or go into more detail about the ordinance and the resolution.
So tonight, what we need to do is we got to hold the public hearing, and then we approve on a first reading the ordinance and the resolution, and then at the next meeting we do this, the similar process again.
Yes, yes, correct.
Okay.
Just to, are you asking for a passage on first reading tonight, or are we looking for passage in 2 weeks?
I think that's up to council. It's allowed if there's a large enough majority to want to do that.
If it's council's pleasure to take a vote tonight, you can take one tonight, in which case I believe there is no action required in 2 weeks.
Okay.
Correct.
All right.
We have to do it.
Okay. All right. Are there any questions before we open up the public hearing? Okay. Seeing none, we can go ahead and open up. First person that I have signed up tonight is Mr. Mark Burrows.
All right. Mark Burrows, Ward 3. We've been through this. Back on January 13th, during a council meeting, then during R3, Ms. Jordan stated that the $15 million will not be used for schools, but instead towards other expenses within the city. She specifically named City Hall as one of the expenses that will be covered by that $15 million. I wouldn't swear under oath due to my wonderful memory, but I could have sworn that the stormwater increase, that she had said that the stormwater increase that was voted in that evening was going to cover some of these expenses for the school district, to include the HVAC for the high school. Furthermore, why are we taking loans out when we can't afford to exist as a city without continuously increasing the cost to the citizens? The loans that you're asking these folks for may offer some temporary reprieve, but at the expense of the taxpayers' back for years to come. This is not going to be, $15 million is not going to be a simple payoff. Where's that money going to come from? Have y'all thought about that? And whether or not that money is going to come out of y'all's hind parts or my hind parts, because my hind parts is about taxed out. Furthermore, the young lady over here, speaking about the condition of her schools, in my opinion, that should be the #1 priority for anything. we're spending $25,000 on a security barrier at the commissioner's office and $4,005 on chairs for the very same office. The way I see it, that's $29,000 that can put a couple of toilets in a middle school. That if a middle schooler is willing to come up here and discuss, perhaps, you know, as adults, we should be having these conversations before middle school presents the issues to us. And lastly, I want to know who's been fired, who's been held accountable. Y'all talked about this. Mayor, a couple minutes ago, you asked her to speak about some stuff from 10 years ago regarding disinformation or whatnot. You were on council when some of this stuff was going on. Ms. Vice Mayor, you were on council then. Mr. Harris, you were on council at that time. Who's been fired? Who in the city's been held accountable, taken to task, outside of who we've elected out of office? Who's been taken to task? Because we're still paying the bill for it, but I don't see any accountability. Thank you.
All right, next is Ms. Laura Greenwood.
Where's the clock tonight? I got my Laura Greenwood, Ward 6. I'm going to make this real quick for you because I'm not going to read all this stuff. You'll know what it is. Number one, one of the Citizens Oversight Committee was given this information from one of the counselors. This is where the $15,000 was supposed to be going to. It's 14 different things here, and it rough averages out to $14,605,000. Then this BS comes out, which is, in my opinion, a discrepancy or deliberately done. It states here, $15,000, the purpose of the proposed bond is to pay costs related to the construction, improvement, replacement of equipment and facilities at the public schools, including without limitation HVAC upgrades, etc. Nothing else. None of this, none of these other 13 other things on here, 14 other things. So, the last thing is, I'm glad you guys brought the treasurer in here. I'm glad you brought the commissioner in here because I was able to go through their files. They were transparent. This is the part that ticks me off. You're getting $15,000 loan with close to 5% interest that taxpayers are going to pay for. Okay? And the other part is this investment that you have is over $21,695,297.64. Why do you need a $15,000 loan? Why do you need it? Here's some money. We don't have to pay interest on this. Let's play smart. Stop screwing with the people. You're misrepresenting the truth to the people. You constantly do this. You fib. You jack us up. I'm tired of it. Do not underestimate the Citizens Oversight Committee. Don't do it. Wrong move.
All right, next up is Jan Glover.
Good evening, City Council, neighbors. I am here because I lost a bet to my 11-year-old. She'll be 12 next week. It's okay. My daughter informed me that she had the guts to go and tell City Council that Woodlawn needed to be fixed or replaced and Carter G needed to be fixed or replaced. I said, CJ, I don't want to lose my job. I lost that bet. Fact of the matter is this. The 7th graders know how bonds work because in 7th grade we learned about the Second World War and the First World War. When the time came for the United States to stand up to Nazism, and before that to the Kaiser and the various collections of dominoes that fell off in a row right after the whole Archduke Franz Ferdinand getting... Yeah, There's a reason why I don't teach 7th grade. I teach 6th. But I used to teach 8th grade civics. There's a lot of math in 8th grade civics. It's civics and economics. There's a reason why I'm not on any kind of a citizens anything committee. There's also a reason why I'm not a math teacher. Anything that comes down to us changing the schedules, like today when we took the practice reading SOL, you'll see me counting on my fingers. I'm not a math teacher. A bond is a citizen purchases it, and it's paid by the city at interest. A bond is part of your capital. You can set it aside as your own investment, and it's one of the investments that it's guaranteed to pay at a set amount. It's not like a stock market investment that goes up and down. When the city has investments that pay back at a set rate of interest, some of the city's investments are in bonds, correct? Do I have that right? Some of the city's investments are in stocks that go up and down. And the city has to pay the payroll, right? Do I have that right? Because keep in mind, I wasn't always a teacher. I had a daughter and needed to be on the same schedule when we went to balanced calendar. So I went back to graduate school and got my Virginia teaching license in 4 subjects. What, like it's hard? So if the city were to take their account and all the investments that we have, and if we spend our capital, that's kind of like our retirement fund, right? If you spend your retirement fund that you're counting on your fixed income to come from, if you take something out of your principal, you're not going to have that monthly income. Or is it going to be lower? If you spend the principal, you stop getting the interest from it. So you can't spend your main set of money. Sometimes, if you take a loan at 5% interest, and yeah, you're paying that 5%, but does anybody happen to know the current rate of inflation off the top of their head? It's above 5%. We will be paying this loan back with money that is worth less than what we borrowed it at. Also, I am really tired of coming home from work and before I put my coat on, having to shake it because we have a problem with cockroaches at my workplace. And it's not because of the students, although some of them, God bless them.
Ms. Glover?
Yes?
Your time's up.
Okay, don't worry.
Thank you.
Thank you so much.
Thank you.
All right, next up is Ms. Darlene Thompson.
If you all are Darlene Thompson, Ward 6, if you all are going to be able to comment after we said something, we should be able to come back and comment on what you all said, because it all is not true. I remember when Stacy came here, she said that you all had inflated, the budget was inflated by $7.1 million. That was after Mr. Branson left. One thing I don't do is miss my city council meetings, okay? I've been coming to these meetings since 2018. All of these numbers that is on these papers, I guess it's truth, but it showed that we are not in a deficit. It would have shown that we do not need $15 million, because no way could you all have put a plan together that quick. I can call Mr. Charles Bennett the 555. He has been able to come in here and get money for the Bank of America, $500,000. He has been able to get money over $1 million, but he asked for $500,000. For the marina, you all came up with the money after the budget was set. Then y'all gave him $94,000. Then in this budget that you all just are planning to set for the city, you all are putting another $500,000 when he had just asked for $250,000 to do a store, to build a store down at the marina. Now it's up to $500,000 because y'all just throwing money all over the place and acting like you all are broke. I'm not making up numbers. All you got to do is Google, when was our assessments increase? It gives you the date and the time. So I'm not lying. You all can go and pull it up. This is what you all have done to these citizens. Tax the heck out of them while the Bob Group has walked out with over $3.5 million plus more, paying this Rogers, which the Bob Group gets it, $21,000 a month. But y'all need $15 million. Only reason that our now debt and what we are paying as far as employees. They have given Charles Bennett a person. The city manager got Stacy. The city attorney got 2 employees. So 1 employee. So we're not lying. If you're broke, you don't continue to spend this kind of money. And that's what you all continue to do. And act like we are crazy. I'm not crazy. The numbers are here. When the city treasurer came, he brought the numbers. Y'all ain't broke. Y'all up in investments. I can't even invest because I'm spending our money in taxes, real estate assessment, and everything else. Okay? So I'm going to continue to come up here until y'all get it right. But I'm hoping that they vote you 4 out this year, that you all don't have us get that signature.
All right. That's all that I have for the public hearing. Public hearing is now closed. All right. To address some of the, once again, misinformation that was put out by the public, or I should say certain public members, Ms. Jordan, did City Council ever increase the stormwater tax? That is the unfunded mandate from the state of Virginia. Okay, thank you. I'll say only. Excuse me, Ms. Randolph. We are correcting the record. Ms. Randolph, this is your last warning. Please stop talking or you're going to be escorted out of the building. Mr. Deputy, will you please escort Ms. Randolph out of this meeting? Thank you very much. Did the only City Council action that the city took with the stormwater fee was to take it off of the data integrator's bill and to move it over to the real estate taxes? All right, thank you. All right, thank you. All right. Question was asked about accountability. For 10 years, this city did not manage itself well up until the last couple of years. Okay? And as you can see, if you go back and look at 2015, there's a whole new leadership team. There's a whole new city council, of which this council and this management team has actually taken tough issues and had to work through in cleaning up previous city council's messes. So once again, why is this necessary? Taking care of school improvements, because the previous city councils took away the capital funding that was used at the school system to balance their budget, which, Ms. Jordan, did you not previously mention that the previous council budgets either ran in the deficit or were leading to the city to bankruptcy? And the thing is, excuse me, you've already had a chance to sign up to speak. You did not sign up to speak. This is the time where we are addressing miscommunication. Stacy, did the city represent, or did you ever state that the city ever... Mr. Burrows, this is your last warning. Please stop talking or you're going to be escorted out of the city hall. Mr. Deputy, will you please remove him? All right. Moving on to the next item. Stacy, did you ever state that the city misrepresented or overinflated? Mr. Deputy, please remove him from City Hall. Stacy, did you ever state that the city misrepresented or inflated its budget? All right, thank you. Okay. And, all right, so that addresses all the mis and disinformation from this public hearing. Okay. All right, moving on. So, do we have a motion to approve the ordinance authorizing the issuance of general obligation bonds for the city of Hopewell, Virginia, in the maximum principal of $15,000 as presented tonight?
15 million.
Oh, 15, yeah, see, once again, you know. Yeah, 15 million.
So moved.
All right, I'll second it. Is there any discussion? All right, seeing no lights, roll call, please. Did you, Councilor Pauly, I think you might have had the clerk's light on. So,
No.
press the light. Yeah, that's the clerk's light.
What's this like?
No, that's, her light is up to
Press
the
that
left.
one.
Press
and see
the
what-
one that's to your left.
Yeah, that one. Yeah.
Well, then what do you got?
He gets this one.
That's the one. That's your light.
So there's two lights on the other side, which makes no sense to me, but okay.
That's all right. Go ahead.
Well, I mean, I just wanted to comment that the school board and the school system have repeatedly come to us and said, either replace the HVA system or pay large sums in repair bills or run the risk that we have no air conditioning in the schools, in which case they'd have to shut down. So, I mean, I feel like we're in an absolute position. We have to do something to address the school issues. I just wanted to go on record as saying I'm trying to support the school system with this.
Yeah, and I can say, you know, we tried, you know, reaching out to the state and asking them for budget amendments for this. And unfortunately, we didn't get carried in the House of Delegates bill or the budget bill. We didn't get carried in the Senate budget bill. And when they came together to reconcile, we still, you know, weren't in there, unfortunately. Despite, you know, the city's multiple attempts of meeting with senators and delegates of both money committees. Unfortunately, we did try, but, you know, to your point, Councilor Poley, you know, the school has to have HVAC and a functioning one, because if it doesn't, then, you know, we're not allowed to send kids into school there. And so I think, you know, the public would much rather have kids in school than to have them out on the street. Was there anyone else that had any comments?
Call for the vote.
Okay, all right, roll call, please.
Counselor Day?
Yes.
Counselor Rapoli?
Yes.
Vice Mayor Joyner?
Yes.
Counselor Harris?
Yes.
Mayor Parton?
Yes.
Motion passes 5-0.
Okay. So now that the ordinance is taken care of, now you need the resolution, or is that one coming back at the next meeting?
I believe it's at your pleasure if council would like to go ahead and consider the resolution, having dispensed with the second reading of the ordinance and adopted the ordinance tonight. You could proceed to consider the resolution if that's your pleasure, or you could bring it back.
Okay. That's all right, Anthony, we just go ahead? Okay.
Yeah, resolution doesn't even have a requirement on average to have 2 readings anyway.
Okay, all right. Do I have a motion to approve the resolution providing for the issuance, sale, and award for the city of Hopewell, Virginia of general obligation bonds for public improvement bonds in one or more series heretofore authorized and providing for form, details, and payment of such bonds as presented tonight?
So moved.
All right, motion's been made by Vice Mayor Joyner and seconded by Councilor Harris. Let's see. Seeing no lights for discussion, roll call, please.
Counselor Day?
Yes.
Counselor Rapoli?
Yes.
Vice Mayor Joyner?
Yes.
Counselor Harris?
Yes.
Mayor Parton?
Yes.
Motion passes 5-0.
Okay. All right. With that will conclude. Oh, no, we still have R4.
Yep.
Miss English has waited all evening for the last 2 items. Thank you, Mr. Sanderson.
Thank you all.
See you later.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Good evening. I come before before you for the school board, asking for approval of a supplemental appropriation to our budget in the amount of $509,700. This is due to additional state and local funding that we've received. Some background, you approved our original budget on April 22nd, 2025. You then approved a supplemental appropriation in the amount of $778,650 in September of 25, and another supplemental appropriation in the amount of $4,758,285 in February of 26. And all that money was to add additional funds to the budget for grants that we received. The school division has since received new grants in the amount of $509,700. We received an early childhood provisionally licensed teacher grant, another school security officer grant, a year-round schools grant, a Cameron Foundation, and a John Randolph Foundation grant. These funds will increase the operating budget to a total of $76,305,087 and the entire Hopewell Public Schools budget to a total of $82,257,456.
Okay. Are there any questions for Ms. English? Okay. All right. Is there a motion to approve the resolution, the school division supplemental resolution to amend the FY26 Hopewell Public Schools supplemental budget appropriation as presented tonight?
So moved.
I'll second it. Is there any discussion? Seeing no lights, roll call, please.
Counselor Day?
Yes.
Counselor Rapoli?
Yes.
Vice Mayor Joyner?
Yes.
Counselor Harris?
Yes.
Mayor Parton?
Yes.
Motion passes 5-0.
All right.
Thank you. 6-0. 6-0.
6-0.
It's been 6-0.
It's 5.
Yeah.
I did a conflict of interest.
Oh, you abstained
That's right,
from it?
that's right.
Okay,
Okay,
gotcha.
yeah, got it.
All right. All right, that closes out tonight's meeting. Congratulations, Ms. Allen, on your second meeting as the new clerk. And then also, congratulations to Mr. Kyle English for his first time presenting in front of council.
All right. Great job.
Thank you.
And with that, I